Hello and welcome to a video here on One Team Inertia that I certainly wasn't expecting to be making today or even in the next couple of weeks or months. So shocking news as I was eating my lunch today, I almost spat my tea out that Kilmarnock have parted company with Angelo Alessio. Came as obviously come as a complete surprise to all the fans. I'll just read out quickly what they said in a club statement. Very, very brief, not a whole lot to it. The Kilmarnock Football Club Limited can today announce that Angelo Alessio has been relieved of his position as manager. Everyone at the club would like to thank Angelo for his efforts during his time with Kilmarnock, and we wish him every success for the future. Alex Dyer will take charge of first team duties on an interim basis. We'll provide a further update for supporters in due course. So, not a whole lot to that. It doesn't really explain the reasons why he's been sacked. It doesn't explain any of the feeling around the club. Doesn't give a name to who it was that made the decision. Obviously, Billy Bowie has the final decision, but was there any input from James Fowler, from the rest of the board? These are all questions that haven't been answered, and it's almost come as a knee jerk reaction. Has split opinion by fans right down the middle. Some saying the performances haven't been good enough. He's only won 8 games. In his full time at Kilmarnock, he never really recovered from the Connah's Key game in the Europa League. While others are saying, we're in fifth place in a very competitive league this year. We've not been playing our best, but we're still in fifth. He's brought in some good signings. The play isn't perfect, but we've been getting some results. Not necessarily in the past couple of weeks, the past month or so, but overall, sitting in fifth place, I don't think you can be too disappointed with that. So it's definitely split opinion among the fans. We'll look at some of the comments later from what they've saying, but from my point of view, I'm so torn about this. I've only had an hour or two to digest what's happened, and try and come up with an answer as to why. You can see what people are saying. The results haven't been great. The performances, especially the last 7-8 games, have been poor. Almost unbearable to watch at times, with the exception of that first half against Hearts, where we just caught them on a very bad day, and we caught Chris Burke on a very good day. But you could see, even at Livingston last weekend, the anger from the fans. There was clear anger, confusion as to what had happened to this team in the past month or so, and you could see that he was going to have to do so much to get the fans back on side. It's not just him. The players have got to stand up and take responsibility. They've just not been good enough the past 2 months or so. Angelo Alessio can only put out the team that he thinks is going to do well. Yes, some of the team selections and the substitutions have been a bit dodgy, but at the same time, the players just haven't looked up for it. They've not performed, and that's basically why we've not been getting the results. It's almost the same group of players that Steve Clarke had. Even in the first month or two of the season, we were up to third in the league, and then there just seems to have been some sort of switch flicked. Maybe all the players are getting too confident that they're going to be the first names on the team sheet every week. Maybe there's something that he's changed up there, but they just didn't look like they were motivated anymore. There's no real effort. It was really despairing to watch as a fan, paying all this money just to see the team sort of give up halfway through the match. And we've just been lacking so much up front. We've been frail at the back, and it just hasn't been good enough. That's not all down to the manager, but at the end of the day, he picks the team, and he has to he's the end of the line for the responsibility, really. But on the other hand, even after the Connah's Key defeat, and then we lost in our first 2 games to Rangers and Hamilton, people were saying, that should be him gone after 4 games. There's actually people calling for his head, but you have to give him credit. He bounced back from that. We went on a good run, and we were all the way up to third in the league, and we thought, maybe the Steve Clarke era wasn't going to be a one-off, and this could be a constant thing, the push for Europe over the next couple of years. But it didn't turn out that way, unfortunately. We've slipped down to fifth, with Hibs now hot on our tails. We've only won 1 in 8. and it's just it's not been good enough. But it's still very surprising that Billy Bowie has taken this sudden reaction, and you have to assume that it's not just all down to matters on the pitch. There have been rumours since he came in that the players aren't happy with his style of play, with his training methods, and you just wonder whether that's all built up. And there's some people saying on Twitter and Facebook that the players maybe gave Billy Bowie an ultimatum that either he goes or we go. Maybe it might not be nothing as serious as that, but there was certainly those rumours going around, and they have kept reappearing throughout the season. So um, it's a very strange one. We've seen in the past that Billy Bowie and the board aren't one for knee-jerk reactions. They've always been taking their time and being sure of their appointments. We saw that during the summer when they took so long to get Angelo Alessio in. It was almost the end of the transfer window by the time he actually got in, and he had very little time to actually sign any players that he wanted to, get his deals over the line that he wanted to. And we saw that with the players as well. Signing Osman Sow at the very last minute, even though they'd known since July that we needed another striker. So it's a very strange one. You'd have to assume that something's gone on behind the scenes for this to happen. Hopefully, the club will be transparent about it, and we'll get more information over the next few days, the next week or so. But the games are coming, thick and fast. Next couple of games, and then we go off on the winter break. So hopefully we'll get a manager in before then. He can build his own team in January if Billy Bowie allows him the funds, and we can come back after the winter break fresh and ready to go. So that's what we're needing. As I say, split opinion among the fans, split my opinion, but make sure you let us know what your opinion is down in the comments, because this was very sudden, very unexpected. But and it's sad to see him go, because he was trying, he was trying to learn English, trying to connect with the fans. You could see that he was passionate about what he was doing, but at the end of the day, results dictate your job in football, and unfortunately that's come back to bite him, whether through his fault or whether through the players not giving it all. Unfortunately, he's come a cropper of that. So 8 managers in the last 9 years it is now. Doesn't look good for us. We're always used to be known as a club that would stick by their managers, or with managers for long periods of time. But times are changing, and if you're not positioning the results in football, then you're out. So Angelo Alessio gone. Please let us know what your thoughts are, because this is going to rumble on for the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, at least until we get someone else in. So it's completely unexpected today. Not the best Christmas for Kelly fans or for Angelo Alessio, but this has been building for a while, and these things just happen in football. So hopefully get a new manager in soon, and we can start to rebuild and get back to where we were last season and at the start of this season as well.